The purpose of the safety planning form is to record and plan how to mitigate the risk, the impact and likelihood of violence, for survivors who are at a continuous danger in their living environment. This is particularly relevant for survivors of intimate partner violence. The first question on the form is if the safety plan is needed. Safety planning enables the survivor to proceed with a predetermined course of action when she's in a life-threatening situation. This can help her minimize the harm done by the perpetrator by identifying resources and means to avoid harm and places she can go temporarily for safety. Developing a safety plan is a collaborative process, undertaken by the caseworker and the survivor together. The safety plan addresses the fundamental question: what needs to happen or to be in place in order for the survivor to be safe? It includes identifying dangerous situations, risks and warning signs, activities survivors can undertake on their own, specific people to call on for help, supportive people that make the survivor feel safe, and the survivor's own strengths that help her get by. If you answered no to that initial question, there is no need to finish the rest of the safety planning form. However, if you answered yes, then continue filling out the form, documenting the agreed-upon plan developed with the survivor. And the next question asks just that. Was the safety plan developed with the survivor? Then it looks at the date that you completed the safety plan. This is important information so we know if the plan is up to date. Then you can enter information about the survivor's primary safety concern, and you should document this in the survivor's own words. Next, we have information about resources. This could be economic or material, relationships or social, community help, and other resources. Then we have safety preparedness. Here you can document the steps the survivor identified to minimize risk of further harm for herself or her children before violence occurs. Some examples of this could include agreeing on a code or a signal with friends, neighbors, or family that the survivor will communicate that she needs help if she can't talk in front of the perpetrator. The survivor could gather basic things and important documents and leave these things in a place where she can reach them if she needs to leave home. The survivor could teach her children that when violence starts, they should go to a specific place or have a code word or signal. You can refer to the safety planning tool in the Interagency Case Management Guidance for more important information on how to discuss this with survivors. Then we get down to safety strategies. You can document here actions the survivor identified as options to mitigate risk when violence happens. Some examples could include if the survivor can recognize some patterns in the abuser's violence that let her know when it's about to become violent, such as certain times of day of the week, when he's around certain friends, or if there are drugs or drinking involved. The survivor can also identify the pattern of violence or when the violence starts. If the survivor has to leave her home for a few days or more, that she knows where to go. Again, here you can refer to the Interagency Case Management Guidelines for more and a fuller list of guiding questions to discuss with the survivor. And finally, for the steps after leaving. Should the survivor decide to leave, there are steps you can document here as well, including what steps the survivor identified as options to minimize risks after leaving home or the community if she chooses to do so. Examples of this could include knowing how to deal emotionally if people blame her for leaving, knowing who to reach out to for support, ensuring the survivor recognizes the trauma and stress that the situation has caused her, and knowing what to do to help her feel stronger. And finally, the last question, like on other forms, is how long it took you to develop the safety plan with the survivor. And once you've entered that information, you can hit save.